How many more children must die before the world finally calls it what it is? Genocide? How loud do mothers have to cry before we truly listen? While most remain silent, one voice chose courage over comfort. Ellie Rowsell, the voice behind the band Wolf Alice, stepped away from the stage and into the streets. Not for fame, not for applause, but for Gaza. This is the story of one woman's stand, and what it means for the millions who go unheard. Ellie has millions of fans. Her platform could have been used solely for music and fame, but she chose something greater. In a world where silence is easy, she chose truth. She didn't just post online. She marched. She spoke. She proved that being human is more important than being popular. Thousands filled the streets of central London, holding posters high and chanting for justice. End the genocide. Stop starving Gaza. Free Palestine. Among them stood Ellie. No cameras flashing, no security bubble, just her, walking side by side with ordinary people demanding extraordinary change. Why is Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu targeting children? This isn't just collateral damage. It's a calculated, deliberate strategy. Hospitals have been reduced to rubble. UN schools bombed, playgrounds turned to dust, entire families erased in single airstrikes. And Netanyahu? He doesn't apologize. He justifies it. He calls it self-defense. But how is it self-defense when babies die in their sleep under the weight of crumbling buildings? The world has seen the images. Small bodies wrapped in white cloth, fathers digging graves with their bare hands, mothers clinging to dust-covered shoes. Still, Netanyahu appears on global news platforms with a smirk, as if Gaza were a battlefield, not a slaughterhouse. He claims Hamas hides among civilians. But does that justify burning entire neighborhoods to the ground? He says he's defending Israel. But real defense doesn't mean cutting off water, food, and medicine to over 2 million civilians trapped with nowhere to go. That's not defense. That's vengeance. A brutal campaign that punishes the innocent, the unborn, the newborn, the orphaned. This isn't war. It's a campaign of fear, of domination, of erasure. And the most disturbing part? Powerful nations still shake his hand, fund his weapons, and shield him in the United Nations. So we ask again, how many more children must die before we stop calling him a leader and start calling him what he truly is? A war criminal. Western leaders preach human rights, yet fund destruction. They speak of peace while signing deals with tyrants. Israel, backed by billions in military aid, continues its brutal occupation. Meanwhile, Gaza, a land with no army, no air force, no defense, is labeled the threat. Is the life of a Palestinian child worth less? Because silence says it is. Music has long been a force for truth. From Bob Dylan to Billie Holiday, brave voices have spoken when leaders failed. Now, Ellie Rowsell joins that legacy. She didn't end the war, but she reminded us, one voice can matter. One heart can shake the silence. Ellie chose to walk for justice. The question now is, what will you choose? Will you remain silent while children are buried beneath rubble? Or will you raise your voice, even if it trembles? Let's talk in the comments. Should world leaders finally call Netanyahu a war criminal? Can silence in the face of genocide ever be justified? If you had a voice that reached millions, how would you use it? Like, share, speak, because silence is no longer an option.